You should be watching.
Look at my horse is amazing.
So, after what feels like eons, well, first of all, what's good, guys? After what feels like eons, we got another roundup, and this one could be a very lengthy one, so just grab a drink and something to eat, you know? But first thing first, as usual, Demoniacal Fit. And what is this called? The Demoniacal Fit Ultimate Trump Card, Power Even God's Fear, something to that effect. Basically, this is gonna be, if you missed out on that MYCC exclusive version where he has that more pearlescent paint job, or some people say the baby oil look, then this is perfect for you. Otherwise, I don't see a reason to get this. There's plenty of better Vegito figures on the market at this point in time. But I guess you could say this is cheaper at the same time. So if you wanted that more pearlescent look or to the effect to the figure, then have at it. Definitely going to be at a cheaper price point, and I'm definitely going to review this in the near future once my shipment comes. Shout out to Mr. Lin from I'll put the store, the name of the AliExpress store, but I'll be collabing with him more often in the future. But that being said, let's move forward. Here we have the Demoniacal Fit Hero Waltz, aka the Super Saiyan Fusion Reborn Gogeta. Definitely a figure that's taken the Dragon Ball action figure community by storm at this point in time, at least for now, until, you know, Taunton's version comes out, then that'll take the community by storm. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of those figures that you're gonna want to pick up. I don't know. I have a feeling this is gonna end up being like their Forever Martialist, where like they release it like once or twice and then you just never see it again. Meanwhile, they'll release bullshit like this. And yeah, I'm calling it bullshit because, like, who cares about this? This is the ultimate why and who cares release. I guess if you want to Goku with his orange shirt torn off and the blue shirt under, but this is kind of like a whatever release. Everything else, even the Vegito that I talked about earlier, is much more exciting than this. I don't know what's up with this. This is kind of whack, in my opinion. But if you're interested in it, then I say pick it up. If you're interested in me reviewing it, let me know. But not super excited for that particular release at all. I guess the hair is fairly new, but it looks kind of like the Black Hole Toys hair sculpt. So I don't know, man. Either way, on to the next company, because we got a lot to get through. So now we have the RR Studio Perfect Cell, and as you can see, I'm not going to read all of that at the bottom, but this figure, it definitely needs work. In fact, there was a lot of feedback, so to speak, when this figure was first, fully revealed, the fully printed out version. We're going to go through the pictures here, but a lot of people weren't too happy about it. Now, luckily, the studio seems to have taken the feedback in stride, and basically they was like, alright, bet, we're gonna fix some things, and there's definitely some things to be fixed with this figure. I think it's a nice starting point, but improvements can definitely be made. It feels very model kit-ish, particularly here. But going on forward, at the very least, I'll say the articulation looks great. Now that knee joint right there, yikes. The ankle rocker looks dope, looks really good, like good range of movement. The crunch forward looks pretty good. So there's some good things here, but I don't know, man. The overall aesthetic definitely could use some work. But I'm very curious to see how much feedback they take from the fandom, because this fandom can be pretty critical. I myself have been pretty critical of figures in the past. And these, the faceplates, once again, definitely need work, to say the least. Definitely need some work. I'm rooting for them to have like a successful release, because who doesn't want Perfect Cell? Like, so many people want Perfect Cell. That's like one of my grail figures for Dragon Ball action figures in general. I can't wait till Tamashii drops their Perfect Cell, But let's see, are there any more pictures? Okay, like accessories like this are cool. Like after he lost the beam struggle with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, this is dope. This is all dope. Of course, more refinement can be done, but I feel like, you know, the actual like blood or what have you, and it's dripping from him, that looks dope. Like I said, the head sculpt could definitely use work. Faceplate specifically, definitely could use some work. The crown is sculpted great, you know. But that's kind of hard. That would have been really hard to mess up. You would have had to go out of your way to mess that up. Either way, I'm hoping to see more. Like overall, I would say the silhouette is pretty nice, but the details in general, it's some things to be, you know, refined on this figure. And I hope to see more updates. Now on to the next thing. So moving right along, we have the ZH Studio Gogeta figure, and well, not the figure, head sculpts. And I think the main thing about these head sculpts is that the head sculpts are fine in themselves, but the finish is very plasticky. As you can see, we're gonna swipe through the pictures real quick. The finish is very plasticky. The sculpt is fine. Like as you can see right here, this face looks fine, looks good. But the finish, very plasticky, and ultimately this is what all the different variants we're supposed to get. When this is actually going to drop, and the same with the rest of the stuff in this video. If there's an actual date, of course I'll let you guys know, but a lot of this stuff we see it, we don't have any dates just quite yet. If I can find some pre-order links, of course I'll link that as well. But yeah, it's not a whole lot to say about this. It's cool to see it finally printed out, because I forgot these were even coming out. I covered it I don't know how many months ago, but yeah, this is just, I hope to see improvements on it. None of these are convinced me that I would replace like for example the Taunton head sculpt that it comes with this. Like I'll put this instead of the Taunton head sculpt. None of these convince me of that. Either way, let's move along. Okay, so this right here, first of all, we're on Courier News' Instagram page. Sorry if I butchered your name, but go check out this Instagram page. They cover more than just Dragon Ball figures or third-party stuff. They cover a little bit of everything. I would say mostly import stuff, but pretty much a little everything. What you see on your screen is hilarious for many reasons for me. One, the first reason is like, why does this even exist? Why does this exist in the first place? I mean, I think it's cool in the sense that it's different than what you would usually get. And we're gonna go through the pictures, right? But why does this exist? See, this is what I'm talking about. Why does this exist? What are we talking? I mean, get that off the screen before something. I hope that shit don't get flagged or something like that. But let me get to, what? It's an interesting third-party release. It's the second reason why it's funny is because of people's reaction to it. Whenever I've sent it, or I put it in my Instagram story, or I share it in my Instagram story, I remember one gentleman was like, "Yo, I forgot. I don't want to misquote him, so I'm not gonna say what he said, what I was gonna say, but he's basically almost like, I don't understand. This is lame or sick." I was like, damn, it's not that deep. It's more funny to me than anything that it exists at all. But this kind of, you know what this feels like? It kind of feels like an AI figure, but somebody decided to actually make it into a figure instead of just, you know, just the render. And, you know, reviewing this would be hilarious. For two reasons. One is just to see people's reactions, but two, having this on the shelf, I don't know. I can't see myself keeping this. Because like, I don't know. It's funny though. It's definitely a funny release. Oh yeah, what is it called? I think the company is called XIYOU or ZU, however you pronounce it. But it's more than just Goku in this particular wave. So we're gonna go to that next. So as I just said, it's not the only Z character that ZU or XIYOU Queens is doing. At least they have Rohan right here. My man Gohan in the alternate universe where he's a girl and a rock star. Like, once again, why does this exist? I don't know. I'm sure there's people quietly buying these. And there you go. And you know what's funny? That Super Saiyan head sculpt is actually unironically pretty damn good. But once again, why does this exist? I don't know. But hey, the third party world is the wild west, as I've said in the past. Now we're gonna real quickly look at what the rest of the wave is gonna be, and then we're gonna move on to the next company. So here's the rest of the wave, and as you can see, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta right there. I think that's gonna be Trunks. Trunks is the fourth character. I don't know who that is standing next to Piccolo though. But clearly Piccolo. Who is this character gonna be standing next to Piccolo? Because I'm thinking the character that's standing next to the one that's standing next to Vegeta, I'm pretty sure it's Trunks. But in between Trunks and Piccolo, I don't know who that is gonna be. I'm trying to think, who could it be? Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Trunks. Maybe Goten? Maybe Goten? I don't know. But we'll see. Time will tell the tale. Once again, why it exists, I don't know. And as you can see, I wouldn't say a lot of people are super thrilled about this compared to something like this. And you know, I don't even cover non-Dragon Ball stuff here, but like this Jada Toys Street Fighter Alpha, you look at the likes, 140 here and 59 here. So, well, I guess that's not a fair comparison at all. But either way, you get it. Compared to some of his other poses, like and compared to engagement, I mean. But on to the next thing.
Beast.
Okay, so moving on to something I think the people are definitely a lot more hype about. We have some early test shots of the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta wave from Beast Deity. Well, Anime Mythos. And it's looking good. Now, I will say he looks a bit slender for a Super Saiyan 4 form. I think they could stand to beef him up just a little bit. Not a whole lot. Not something that's OD, but you know, they can stand to beef him up a bit. But this is supposed to be the GT fit. And it looks good. I'm happy. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. You know, like with the exception of me saying, like, you know, needs to be beefed up a little bit more. Here's a look at the Xeno version. Yeah, I'm once again very interested to see progress on this project. I actually like what I see so far for the most part. You know, give or take here, you know, some things that can be adjusted here and there, and they already saying to you, hey, it's an early test shot. What are you gonna do? But let's move forward to the rest of the Anime Mythos stuff. Now, this right here is gonna be very important. So as I'm recording this, and hopefully I can get it out late tonight or something like that, the Super Saiyan 4 Broly wave is supposed to come out, go up for pre-order tomorrow, so that'll be August 1st. So if you hear me saying tomorrow, but this video comes out August 1st or something to that effect, just understand when I recorded it, it was July the 31st. You have your Super Saiyan 4 Broly, you have your Limit Break Super Saiyan 4 Broly, you have your Dark Super Saiyan 4 Broly, and you have Super Saiyan 5 Broly. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more in a second. I just want to go through the individual pictures. Okay, so here's going to be your standard, what you call it, Super Saiyan 4 Broly skull. Of course, they're doing the theme of it being like a Norse god. This has been a thing with their rebranding ever since they turned into Beast Deities and now they're Anime Mythos. As you can see, he comes with a green mouth blast. That's something new for Broly. You get your assortment of hands, and then you get the one hand holding the blast, or it's a Mega Blaster, whatever you want to call it. Here's what the wave is supposed to look like. So you got Super Saiyan 4 Broly, Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly, Dark Super Saiyan 4 Broly, and then Super Saiyan 5 Broly. Now, 3 of these I'm pretty hype about. Number 11, which is the one I was originally most hype about, I'm not as hype about it anymore, because one of the things that made me hype about it is that when they first ever told us that this wave was coming out, that was like 2 or 3 years ago. And it was the artwork that they used to promote it, as they used that Toyotaro, or back then when it was called Toyobu, artwork of Super Saiyan 5 Broly, and that has a more slender aesthetic, but you know, he's still muscular, just a bit more slim, and I was hoping that they do a unique sculpt for that. Now it makes sense that they didn't do it, because why do that when you could just reuse this same sculpt 4 times over, rather than doing a brand new sculpt that you're probably only going to use like once, right? So it makes sense that they did what they did, but you know, still disappointing nonetheless. If at some point, you know, they do release one based on the Toyobu artwork, now known as Toyotaro, I'll definitely pick that up for sure, but that's probably the one I'm least hyped about. But up 3, definitely pretty hyped about. Of course, this is what you're getting with Super Saiyan 5 variant. You get, now I do like the blue on that energy blast effect. That's really dope. Once again, Red Fury version, green mouth blast, dope. Dark face version is hilarious. But yeah, they all come with the same accessories. It's just different colors, you know. But that's pretty much all we have on Beast Steeped. God damn it, Anime Mythos. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, that's pretty much all on Anime Mythos for now. The next wave that I think will be going up for pre-order after this wave, not the next wave that's supposed to come out, but the next wave that's supposed to go up for pre-order, I'm thinking it's going to be the Suppressed Broly wave, which is my most anticipated wave. Suppressed Broly / regular Super Saiyan Broly. I am super anticipating that, but they said that should come out, that should go up in like fall, so we still got some time before that actually comes out. And hopefully some of the waves that we covered in this video, like the Vegito, I said some of the waves like we cover in this video, specifically like the Vegito or that Goku wave that they first announced from Anime Mythos. Hopefully those 2 waves are close to coming out by then, or at least one of them is already out. But let's move forward. I forgot there was like 2 pictures that I didn't show off. But here's a close-up look of the Dark Super Saiyan 4 Broly head sculpt. And here's the, you know, the body. But it's mostly this that I didn't show. So that's that. On to the next thing for real.
How tough am I? Wow.
So up next we have WoW Super Action Studio or something like that. I'll have the Instagram for them in the description or what have you. But this studio came out of nowhere, and they came out swinging and with something that's, I'm not gonna say it's different, but not what I would normally expect from a third party. They went to the Saiyan Saga and said we're gonna produce 2 variants of a Saiyan Saga Goku. And one thing that I say is automatically super cool about this is that one arm accessory where they have it in motion, trying to give that illusion of it him punching in motion. And here's another look with the prototype without the color on it. More prototype looks, and here's the Kaioken variant. And what can I say? This looks pretty good. I think they could stand to extend the torso just a bit if it was up to me, but yeah, it looks good. Shading on the muscles and whatnot, dope. Now if you sick of Frieza Saga and Saiyan Saga stuff, this is definitely I can see this definitely being a hard pass for you. Now one thing, my good man, Jameson, Jamieson? You know who you are. He DM'd this studio and he said, he suggested that they do a false Super Saiyan with this. And I think they actually responded and said, hey, that's a dope idea. So we'll see what becomes of that in the future. I'm not gonna, say it's written in stone just yet, but if they think it's a good idea, maybe we will see a false Super Saiyan from them. Who knows? But on to the next thing.
Black Hole Sun, won't you come?
We have some in-hand looks at the Black Hole Toys Majin Vegeta, or Busaga style Vegeta, and it looks pretty good thus far. of course, ultimately, you can't make a final judgment till you have it in hand, but some people are getting it in hand. Looks pretty good so far. I think the Taunton head sculpt looks great, but feels a little awkward on this particular figure. So we'll see. And then, of course, we have the original 2.0 Majin Vegeta mold, and we have it standing next to side by side, and definitely this figure is shorter. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? I guess it depends on how you feel about it, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think there's a reason to necessarily make them shorter either. So make of that what you will. On to the next thing.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Alright, good people, now going back to Gogeta. The Taunton Gogetas, people are getting them in hand, and it's looking really good so far. It's looking really nice so far. They're all, look at that, beastly. Like, this is looking really good thus far. Now, ultimately, how it feels in hand and things of that nature, that's always the final determination, and that's the final test. But so far, these are looking really nice, really good, really good. Definitely super excited for these. Now, wait, I can't remember what's next up in terms of pictures because I don't want to swipe too early. Okay, this is one of the pictures that came out today with the base hair on them, and this looks dope. This looks really dope. And also, it helps that it's also the clearest quality picture. But if what's up next is what I think it is, man, the hype is through the roof. Okay, it's not it just yet. I think it's after this one.
Okay, so this is me post-recording everything, but I'm gonna place it once again just where the Taunton section is, or Kami 1 section. Either way, point being is this is a tease for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and need I say more if Taunton is making a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? Like, it's not a whole lot to talk about. Just get hype. Raise your flags. Power up or something. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. Just, I can't wait to see the final product. Of course, we won't. As I always say, you don't know until you finally have it in hand. But the anticipation of a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta from Taunton, through the roof. Like I said, not much more I could say after that. But yeah, I was high-key irritated because I thought this portion of at least the Taunton section was recorded, and it wasn't. And I guess that happened because the application I'm using just said some type of error on the screen, and so yeah. Either way, got it straightened out. And sorry, oh yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say. So at this point in the video, sorry for if you notice inconsistent audio. I have a mic, but I don't have it clipped onto anything, so maybe it's because of the inconsistent distances that you may hear a little different, but it's all the same mic, or at least it's all supposed to be the same mic. But either way, on to the next thing.
So now we are looking at ZD Studio. ZD Studio is also a studio that produced those Super Saiyan Trunkses. If you weren't familiar, were they still called ZD Studio back then? I believe they was called something different, if I'm not mistaken. But here's some renders for faceplates so that they're working on. Maybe it'll be full-on head sculpts. We'll see. I'm assuming that it's full-on head sculpts, but just for now, we don't have any. They didn't have the hair here. But you got some for Bardock, as you can see. Gotenks right here. Well, it looks like it's going to be specifically Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Xeno Goku Black, or Timebreaker Goku Black rather. And last but certainly not least, for Vegito, Super Saiyan 3 and base form. Is that what they're insinuating right here? I don't know. But that's not all. So as I understand it, this will also be ZD Studio. Now if it's not, I'll correct it, but as I understand it, it will be Super Saiyan 3 Bardock rendered head sculpts, and it looks like it's using the same mechanics, so very well might be. But this is looking, the sculpt is looking good so far, thus far. Time will tell the tale. As I always say, you don't know until you have it in hand how things will actually turn out. But this is looking good. It's looking good so far. And if they're using that statue as a reference, the statue hair sculpt looks really good. Now the only thing is, as I always say with these Super Saiyan 3 releases, whether it's a full figure or just a hair sculpt, figuring out that weight issue. I really am curious to see if anybody's even going to address it, or who's going to be the first person to address it. You know, it's possible nobody addresses it at all and they just be like, all right, figure it out, use a stand to hold up the hair, you know. But that is all on ZD Studio. I believe we have 1 or 2 more segments and then we're gonna close it out.
I don't know.
Now we have a look at Super Saiyan 3 Vegito head sculpt, and both look good. Now I'm not sure what studio this is. Now I'm putting it right next to ZD Studio just in case it is them, because it looks like it could be them, but I am not sure at all what studio this is. If you do know the studio, you know, feel free to let me know, but I'm unsure what studio this is. With that being said, no, there's still one more thing to cover, and it's gonna be real quick. But on to the next thing. This particular portion I'm recording kind of out of order, because this should have been included with the Studio Unknown kind of portion, and this is the Yamcha, or more specifically Bandit Yamcha from Dragon Ball. Definitely a completely different release than what we're used to. We don't get a whole lot of Dragon Ball support. I mean, releases specifically from third party, or official for that matter. I mean, we technically just got the King Piccolo thing, but even before that, it's not like we got a whole bunch of heavy Dragon Ball releases, you know. But this is looking really good. Now, what studio? It could be LS Studio, aka the studio that's also working on the Moro and the Gohan B stuff. But I don't know. That's not necessarily confirmed, and I just didn't want to put it in a segment and say, hey, it is from that studio, you know. But that's it on that. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so there's actually a couple more things to cover. I can't believe I waited this late in the video to cover this, but I completely forgot this was a thing. Once again, this is like a month's worth of information that I'm just trying to, you know, get through. Basically, 5K Toys responds, and I guess to all the people, I was like, why don't y'all carry Neo Kong? It says, you know, why people ask why we do not carry Neo Kong or Neo. Well, we do not like the middle part. Now they making jokes, but in the event that they are slightly serious, hey man, y'all already came out and said y'all don't like them because they copying Beast Deity. Matter of fact, that's why Beast Deity has even bothered to re-release some of the figures that they said they weren't going to re-release. These are made-to-order things, but clearly the pressure that Neo put on y'all all of a sudden makes them not made to order. Y'all willing to make, you know, do a second run. You know, I guess you could say each run is made to order, so that would be fair, but I don't know. I don't know. This is a very peculiar situation. It's a lot that could be said here, because I guess because 5K Toys has close ties with anime mythos, that they are obviously not going to do it. But yeah, I guess that's just as simple as that. There's nothing more to it. But I had more to say about it, but really it's not all that. It's just, like, they point out the QC issues as if Beast Deity or Kong Studio didn't have their own barrel of QC issues in the past. Now they have definitely improved, but even, like, let's just go to the Super Saiyan 5 Goku. Just getting the heads on were a nightmare. Now, there was a couple people that said, oh, it snapped on quite fine, but a lot of people were having trouble getting that head sculpt on. Same thing with the Brolys, to be honest. So, you know, pointing out the QC is fine, but Kong Studio in the past has definitely had their fair share of QCs. Matter of fact, this real quick story time. At the time, well, this person, I'm not with this woman anymore, but at the time my girlfriend had gotten me the Ultra Ego Vegeta for my birthday, and I remember the wrist pegs just snapped. Yo, the disappointment. I was so salty. Like in that review, I was salty. I think for the thumbnail, I put Ultra Ego or Ultra No Go or something like that. I was so salty about that. I was pissed. But yeah, on to the next thing. A real quick update for DCG Studio. If you were interested in these head sculpts, and I know I definitely am, we was like, we didn't hear about these head sculpts for mad long, and now we got an update. This was on July 16th, by the way, and they're saying because of some backlash in China or some critiques in China, they recalled the whole batch. I guess that was supposed to be coming over here to the States or overseas in general, and they decided to redo them and update the issues. Now, I remember I saw my good man Flox on Instagram. He was like, "Yo, I didn't see any problem with the original head sculpts. I didn't really see any problem with the original head sculpts either. But if they're improving them in some way, shape, or form, that's dope." Now, this is scheduled, as you can see on the screen, to release late summer. So I'm guessing sometime. Well, summer is almost over, so sometime next month, the end of next month, maybe going into the fall, probably. We'll see. Time will tell, because also these things ship by boat, and because it ships by boat, it takes forever to get over here. So what are you gonna do? On to the next thing.
So from the people that bought you the Yard Rat upper torso for Son Goku, we have the Yard Rat armor for Vegeta by EC Studio, of course, or EC, whatever they're called. This is a cool release, for sure. That I definitely wanted a Yard Rat Vegeta, but I wanted like a full figure and not a kit conversion kit. But a conversion kit will do for now. This is based off of one of the story arcs in the manga. Funny enough, I just mentioned Moro. That is from that story arc where Vegeta does wear this outfit very brief. But yeah, if you're interested in this, I'll keep you updated. It'll most likely be available on Hobby Model Store because the other Yard Rat kits for Goku are on that store as we speak. But let's move on to the next thing. So last but certainly not least, we have the Ultra Ego Vegeta by Lao Lai, aka Recustoms, Ari Customs, however you want to say their name. Because that group or person, that third party has a million different names. Either way, Ultra Ego Vegeta, it's looking really good. Can't wait for it to come out. I'm tired of seeing renders. Let's get the product. That's how I feel about this. Looks like you're gonna get 5 faceplates. A close-in on that initial face that he made after he finished transforming in the manga. And with all this being said, this has been Bombastic Plastic. Thank you for your patience. As always, I'm very grateful for the support. Stay fantastic. Drink water. Stay hydrated because it's hot outside. And have an absolutely blessed day.
Overtime! Bing bong!
Okay, so real quick, we have overtime. And as you can see on the screen, this was supposed to go up at 5 p.m. PST today, August 1st. But I'm gonna read what they had to tell you. Due to a system scheduling bug on the shop app, the pre-order, which was originally set to open tomorrow, was published early. As a result, we've decided to keep the pre-order open through at least tomorrow night, Friday, to ensure everyone who planned to order on schedule still has a chance to get theirs without issue. Early shop orders are valid, so I just wanted to give y'all that update. Typically, I would have just included this in the middle of the video or whatever segment Anime Mythos was, but I didn't feel like doing that. I just put it as OT. Peace.